Absolutely horrific. And what we were seeing outside of this hospital is family members wailing, screaming, weeping, begging someone to help the patients inside, their loved ones who were going into that hospital hoping to be healed. And more than 80 people ended up dying from smoke inhalation. Now, what happened inside the hospital, according to witnesses, is that this fire broke out somewhere in the basement. And in that basement, investigators say there were patients, there were lots of hospital supplies, and there were cars. It was big enough to have, for example, a small garage inside, a big no-no to have all those things in one place. This fire breaks out, and according to witnesses, the hospital staff, some of them, simply ran out and did not help those people who were absolutely helpless, sick, and lying in their beds. Let you listen to what one witness said in this tragic fire.
Isn't it strange, in such a big fire, how can only the patients die and not a single casualty from the hospital? They all came down, leaving alone all these patients, and they choked to death, you know? They just choked.
You hear her screaming, they choked to death, and she did mention that there wasn't anyone from the hospital who died, but in fact that turned out not to be true. There was a doctor and 2 staff members in the hospital who did perish in this fire, but the rest of the casualties were patients, including children, and you saw some terrible scenes of the firefighters didn't seem to have as much equipment as they needed. They were lowering children, for example, with ropes outside of windows. People said that some of the exits were actually blocked. Just an absolute tragedy, and now an investigation is underway, Brooke.
Absolutely horrendous. As we mentioned, 6 of those hospital managers arrested for negligence. Sarah, what about the hospital itself? How much damage was done? Will it even be able to reopen?
Well, at this point in time, the government has decided to revoke the hospital's license. So that is a big development. The hospital's license now taken away, and these 6 managers have been arrested. Now, we have been hearing on local channels from some of these hospital administrators who are saying, no, we did not violate any safety measures. However, the big question is, if this fire raged on for such a long time and so many people perished in a place where most people think that you have really strict safety procedures and ways to get the patients out, there are a lot of questions that need to be answered. But the big thing that's happening right now is that dozens of family members are at a morgue trying to identify the bodies, hoping beyond hope that their loved ones are not among the dead.